So the aftermath of the Royal Rumble of 2017 starts with your Universal Champion Kevin Owens and your United States Champion Chris Jericho walked to the ring, and Owens was like, yeah, okay, he's been proving everybody wrong his whole career, specifically Mick Foley. Talking about, okay, yeah, he was da-da-da-da and couldn't get it done and couldn't beat Roman Reigns and so on and so forth. But then he says that he's the one. Yes, he's the man, he's the guy, he's the one. He goes on that tirade. And then he admits that he had help. Yes, he had help in his match at the Royal Rumble. And he thanks that person. He thanks Chris Jericho for being there. And without him being there, and it was hard for him in order to be at that fucking shark cage, he wouldn't have gotten through the night. He wouldn't have gotten through his match if it wasn't for Jericho and his help. Okay, fine. Then Jericho runs down his Royal Rumble performance, which pretty much was, yeah, pretty substantial. And even though he was out of the ring sometimes, but anyway, he runs down his total time for him being in the Royal Rumble all of his career, which is 4 hours, 56 minutes, and 12 seconds. Combined. The longest out of anyone in history. And then, yeah, but he's never won one. He's never won a Royal Rumble. Maybe, and people thought that he was probably going to do it this year, but he didn't do it this year. Oh well. There could still be a Kevin and Chris feud along the way. But oh well. But Jericho was in there for an hour and 1 minute. Basically, you know, the longest in this year. 61 minutes. Hashtag 61 minutes. Hashtag greatest of all time. That's what Jericho wants us to freaking have trending on Twitter. And it actually did. 61 Minute Man actually trended on Twitter for a little bit. So, that's fine. But then again, who comes out? Raw! Braun Strowman comes out. And he said that he hates Reigns. That's number one for helping him. And number two is that Kevin Owens promised him a title shot. And Kevin Owens like, I didn't promise you no title shot. Yeah, but Braun Strowman has a video to prove it. Said that after he gets done with Roman Reigns, Strowman was going to be the next in line. No, you can't hold me by that. No, I went through hell last night. No. You know, Kevin Owens pleading his case. Next thing you know, Foley comes out in a green plaid suit and makes the match. For the Universal Championship, I might add. Okay, fine. So, after that, you get Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn one-on-one. Kevin Owens isn't there. Interesting. But, again, Kevin Owens not being there. Jericho versus Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn wins. No title on the line, but he wins fair and square. Does this mean that Sami Zayn is going to get a United States Championship opportunity at WrestleMania? Maybe. But then again, let's not get our hopes up for Sami Zayn getting any type of championship, which kind of sucks. But, yeah. Goodness. Sami. Is he out of the range for the Cruiserweight division? But anyway. You have Sheamus and Cesaro arguing about the Royal Rumble, about Cesaro trying to swing him at the Rumble, and then Cesaro's like, you tried to eliminate me out of the Rumble, and Cesaro's like, I tried to eliminate you because you tried to swing me, and then Bayley comes and basically separates them and reasons with them, because the three of them have a match against Charlotte, Anderson, and Gallows in a mixed tag. And then the group hug. She wants a group hug, and Sheamus is like, no. And they're like, come here, group hug. And no. And then cue Charlotte and Anderson and Gallows. Yeah. Okay. Saying that, yeah. Bunch of losers. Gallows even calls them nerds. It's kind of funny the way all that works out. You get Anderson and Gallows, finally the tag team champions. You get Charlotte that's undefeated at pay-per-views, and that moment it's just like, yeah, the champs versus the chumps. They run that down for a little bit, and yeah, Okay, they'll settle it in the ring. Meanwhile, backstage, Kevin Owens tries to get out of his match for the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman, and he goes and talks to Stephanie McMahon about it. Stephanie McMahon did not know anything about Mick Foley making that match, so he's pleading the case about having it canceled because of what he went through last night, and Stephanie was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So, you have Tony Nese versus Mustafa Ali in a Cruiserweight match. And, wow. So, last week they hype up Mustafa Ali, and then this week he loses to Tony Nese. Okay, fine. Flip-flopping there on the Cruiserweight division as far as trying to hype who to hype up and who to break down. But after the match was something different because Austin Aries actually interviews Tony Nese and actually runs him down on how boring he is, about how lack of character he is. I don't totally remember everything that he said, but it's like, yeah, Tony Nese walks away, and, well, before he walked off, he's like, I don't need to answer to my critics. Yeah, because Austin Aries is basically, criticizing him and critiquing him, and that's fine. Yeah. Austin Aries, just debut already on the main roster, please. Especially the Cruiserweight division needs you. If you're going to be in the Cruiserweight division, yeah, they absolutely need you right now. Even though Neville's the champion and brought some life to it, but they still need you. They need a character like you in the Cruiserweight division. That's just my opinion. So, after that, Seth Rollins, comes out to the ring and calls out Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie comes out. Okay, by the way, Triple H isn't here. And Stephanie McMahon's like, yeah, you're disappointed. Sorry to disappoint you. And Rollins is like, what? Like you disappoint your husband every night? Rollins doesn't care about Steph. And okay, Stephanie just runs down Rollins, demands an apology, and Rollins gives one. Apologized for Triple H being a gutless snake, and he exposed that of Triple H. And, he called him out on NXT, and then security had him take him away, yeah. Then he was barred from the Royal Rumble. Says that Triple H is scared. Doesn't measure up. And, well, it was Stephanie that said that Seth doesn't measure up to Triple H. And Rollins was like, okay, Stephanie, you don't get it. I have nothing left to lose, So what happens if I show up to WWE headquarters, during a board of directors meeting? Or, better yet, how about I show up to your front doorstep and have one of your children answer the door? Hitting personal hits here. Yeah, he said he's going to show up to the board of directors meeting. How would her father like it? And show up at her house. And so, Stephanie was like, I lied. Triple H is on his way. Okay. Fine. So you get the 6-person tag of Cesaro, Sheamus, and Bayley versus Anderson, Gallows, and Charlotte. The faces actually win this match because there's nothing on the line here. There was no belts on the line with a Bayley to belly to Charlotte. Charlotte is always losing on Raw, but not on pay-per-views when it counts. I guess they're going to hype her up like that. Yeah, she loses every week or something like that, but where it counts at the pay-per-view, she puts on the matches. She puts on the show. She actually gets it done. Maybe they'll have it that way. And of course, Anderson and Gallows are finally tag team champions, so they had nothing to lose either with this match. Yeah, of course, whenever the women tagged in, the other woman had to step in because that's the rules of the match. And maybe that kind of slowed things down, but it was a statement match nonetheless, okay? The challengers are going to be challenging these champions again. But, yeah. So, you have Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon arguing about this whole Braun Strowman getting a championship match against Kevin Owens. And it's kind of funny because, look, Stephanie, you hired me to do a job, and I did it. I'm making matches. Yeah, you may be... Yeah, okay, look. This It's funny how Mick Foley was even chosen to be with Stephanie in the first place, knowing that he has history with Triple H and Stephanie at one point. Of course, that was 16 years ago, but who cares? It's still there. We don't forget. Yeah, and that disagreement continues, but the match is still on. The match is still on between Strowman and Owens because, of course, she allows it. So, Neville's coronation. I wish he would have had a crown. I wish he would have had, him on a throne carrying him in the ring. He didn't even wear the belt to the ring. He just had it in his arm and stuff like that. And it's like, damn it. Yes, he has new side plates. Yes, carry that. Carry that tradition. Put side plates on these fucking things. Since you're not going to have the name plates on them anymore. Which I don't understand. Especially for... Okay. Anyway. Neville. His coronation. He's, 205 Live belongs to the king. King of the Cruiserweights. Fine. Rich Swann comes out. Oh, duh. He comes out and... Alright. He tells Neville that the fight with Neville is in his mind. It's not with the people. It's not anything else. But, the fight's in his head, and he said that he actually respects it. He doesn't like Neville, but he respects Neville because he actually got the job done. And he extends his hand, and Neville's like, you don't get it, do you? A handshake? No. Get on your knees and bow. Nope. Like you expected him to bow. So, Swann and Neville, they go at it for a bit. Duh. I mean, they're trying to get us emotionally involved, but some of it just seems forced. It needs to be more natural. I like Neville as a heel, but everything needs to be more fucking natural. And they need to go at it to the point where we need to consider everybody as a total fucking threat. For some reason, the Cruiserweights just don't give that out. I don't know what it is. It's not a waste of time, but they just need to do more with the Cruiserweights. That's just my opinion. Okay. Sasha Banks is in the back getting ready for a match with Nia Jax. Bayley doesn't want her to face Nia Jax because she's not 100%. And Sasha has something to prove, and she's not happy with settling with loss. That's a jab at Bayley. So, you have the no DQ match between Braun Strowman. No, it wasn't a no DQ match. I'm thinking about the Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship. But the funny thing about that is, Chris Jericho was going to have his back. Because Kevin Owens, earlier in the interview, was like, you got to have my back. You got to have my back. You got to have my back. Jericho was like, no matter what happens, we're still the United States champion. Like that holds a candle to. So, is the Universal Championship considered a fucking world title or what? Someone just make that clear. No. Anyway, what? Just because it's red and it's raw and a black swish underneath and... Anyway. Before the match actually begins, Chris Jericho is at the commentator's booth. Braun Strowman goes up there during his entrance and actually just kicks Jericho and just chokeslams him through the fucking announce table. So Jericho is out of the equation. Braun Strowman, pretty dominant. He was. And then, I didn't change the channel, but Roman Reigns comes out, interferes, match over, DQ. Play a game next time you see Roman Reigns. Take a shot every time you see a Superman punch or spear by this guy. Yeah, we all be drunk. We all be fucked up. It took 3 Superman punches and a spear in order to take this guy down, and Roman Reigns leaves, and Braun Strowman just gets up afterwards. Oh, and he gives a spear to fucking Kevin Owens for good measure. Damn, I would have been fucked up if I would have took those shots. But anyway, just... Keep them together for a while. Keep them feuding for a while. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Nobody cares. Just keep them both out of fucking title pictures. Don't give them any of these. But, yeah. So, Lesnar and Heyman come out. We know where this is going. They challenge Goldberg for WrestleMania. And Goldberg chants. And then you get Paul Heyman to go on his little tirade. Okay. He runs down the list of people. Okay, Andre the Giant was undefeated for 15 years. Yeah, until he got to Hulk Hogan. Okay. That's when the but started. Then he runs down, the Brock Lesnar going against Kurt Angle and John Cena and all of that. So every time that people talk to him, everyone, he says Brock Lesnar, and people say, yeah, but Goldberg. So this leads up to the challenge. And look, Paul Heyman is one of the best in the mic. But he hasn't sold me on this fucking match because everything's already been extinguished because of the last 2 times these motherfuckers have been in the ring. It's just been a spear, a push, a jackhammer, or a clothesline. Brock has no offense against this guy. It's just, for the last 2 times they've been in the fucking ring. I'm not, a WrestleMania match? Why? Just why? So, you have Sasha against Nia Jax. Nia is basically dominating Sasha at this point. Sasha can barely move and so on and so forth. And Nia gets on top of Sasha and basically tries to bend her. And then the fucking bell rings. The match gets stopped. The fucking referee didn't ring the bell. Who the fuck rang the bell? Mick didn't come out. No one stopped the fucking match. There was no tap out or whatever. The bell just fucking rings. And it's like, ugh. So, during this tirade, and Nia Jax gets back on Sasha, and bends her again. Bayley comes out, and she didn't even want to get too close to Nia Jax, and Nia Jax just leaves, and it's like, ugh. Sasha, heal up, come back, and so we can take you seriously at that point. But for now, it's just like, ugh. You were on a pre-show, for Christ's sake. After main eventing, now you're on a fucking pre-show? Damn, Sasha. That's just, ugh. Enzo and Cass versus Russo and Jinder Mahal. Long intro from Enzo and Cass. As usual, they basically make a lot of Wizard of Oz references. And then it's a fucking tornado tag, and we don't fucking care at this point. I don't care about Jinder Mahal at all. They talk about his veins on his arms and stuff like that, but fucking, I don't, look, everybody, the crowd is just so, most of the crowd is just knocked out of it once the intro is done, and then they ramble, and then everybody is just waiting for the one word to describe you. Everybody's just waiting for that, and yeah. Cut your intro shorter, Enzo and Cass, please. Please. And just whoop some ass. Yes, this is this generation's new age outlaws. That's just my opinion. But cut your fucking shit shorter on the mic. Especially you, Cass. Cass can barely talk and seem... He's not interesting on a mic. Enzo is the one that's interesting on the mic. Yeah, how you doing? Couple of haters, but other than that, in their intro and their outro, no. But they win. They beat Jinder Mahal and Rusev. Rusev Machka. Rusev Crush. Crush Rusev. He's the only one that can have me. Does anyone care about these guys? Rusev or Jinder Mahal? Please, I would like to fucking know. No. Ugh, no. So, Triple H arrives. He gets in that ring. he runs down Seth Rollins. Not only him showing up at NXT, but his brief history. Yes, he was the first NXT champion. He basically, then he was the architect of the Shield. He was the leader of the Shield. And then Triple H made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. And Seth jumped on the bandwagon. And throughout him being with Seth, his career just, on the high rise. And, of course, the proof is in the pudding. Money in the Bank basically was given to him. The championship. Yes, he disrupted one of the main events of WrestleMania that we didn't even fucking want. But again, he was WWE champion. He had J&J Security. He had Kane. He had all these motherfuckers helping him out. He did. But then he said, Triple H was like, yes, he buckled under. When he couldn't handle the pressure. He buckled under his own weight. His leg went out. He had to give up the title and hobble somewhere. And Triple H was like, what? You expected for everything to be in place, for you to come back? No, we have to move on. We have to move forward. We moved away from Seth Rollins. And he comes back, and he's absolutely nothing without Triple H. He can't cut it. Basically, that's what Triple H was saying. Then Triple H was like, look, I'm at NXT trying to do something else. And he said something very interesting. He's like, he doesn't want to be that guy again. What? He doesn't want to be shovel man. He doesn't want to bury people. He doesn't want to put himself first. He doesn't want to just give himself championship after championship after championship after authority storyline. Fucking, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to bury people anymore, huh? Okay. He said he doesn't want to be that guy, so he puts on the suit and he puts on the tie. But, he's like, I have to be that guy again. He said, he's like, I'm done not being that guy. I'm so done with not being that guy. So he calls out Seth Rollins. And he's like, look, I was your creator and I'm going to be your destroyer. Seth Rollins moseys on down. He's like, I finally get what I want. Yeah, Triple H. And then, well, what do you know? Samoa Joe attacks. I wanted Joe to make his debut at the Royal Rumble. Maybe even interfere in the match to change a couple of outcomes, maybe. But this suffices because he beat Seth Rollins down. He beat him down. And Triple H didn't even have to lay a hand on him, which was great. It basically made the statement as, okay, you're still going to be chasing me. But where does this lead now? Is this going to lead to a match at Fastlane? Is Seth Rollins actually going to get past Samoa Joe and beat him? Is the match between Triple H and Seth Rollins actually going to happen at WrestleMania? Or does he have to go through Samoa Joe first in order to get Triple H? I mean, that's the only monkey wrench that I see, since Samoa Joe is going to be on the main roster now. What else would be? I mean, for Joe to just jump in like that and immediately feud with Seth Rollins, but Triple H is still waiting in the wings for a WrestleMania match, it just seems like kind of odd. The only way I can see it happening, which it makes sense, is Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe just fighting with no winner. Or, I don't understand. Wait, he's going to get past Samoa? What, is he going to roll up Joe and leave or whatever? I don't know. It's just, that's the only monkey wrench that kind of, I see going wrong here. That's just me. But it's great that Samoa Joe is finally on the main fucking roster. Give him one of these sooner or later. Something. Please. Because he can carry it. Come on, he can carry a belt. He can put on good matches. He's a legitimate threat in the ring. He is. He is. So, let's make this happen. Don't fuck up Samoa Joe. Please. But this is WWE we're talking about here. That's Monday Night Raw for the aftermath of Royal Rumble 2017. What did you think about the show? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it or, are my opinions like, are you like, fuck that guy? Or are you like, yeah, I kind of agree? Or, I would like to get your opinions on the comments below. And by the way, don't forget to, click that thumbs up and click that subscribe button. I'm always open for a debate when it comes to wrestling. Always. Drop kicks, body slams. Throw motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yeah, that just happened. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.